probably the worst 10 seconds of my life. When you actually think you're going to die, it's not cool. It's so scary. Like, because you just start thinking, just shit, I haven't spoken to my missus. I haven't seen my dad for 6 months. I haven't seen the world yet. 3 hours of I haven't go through your head in like 10 seconds. I wouldn't wish that feeling upon anyone, really.
What is up, everyone? I am Lachlan Samuel, and this is the Open Up Podcast, the show where real people open up and share real stories of struggle. Good to go?
Yep. I think so. Shitting myself, but yeah. Good to go.
Sweet. 3, 2, 1. What is up, everyone? I am Lachlan Samuel, and this is the Open Up Podcast, episode number 3, with my man, Shannon Stewart. He is Western Australia's #1 Broncos fan, and he's been through a hell of a lot. How are you, my man?
Good, bro.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Well, actually, thank you for letting me come to your house and do this.
It's all good, bro. Thanks for coming.
Man, you've got a lot to share. We're just going to jump. First, we better note that you are a FIFO worker, so the main story you are going to be sharing is one from the FIFO industry.
Yeah. That's
cool.
Correct.
So we will kick off with your childhood. Just run us through how you were raised and any, I guess, influences, be it people or events.
I was born in Melbourne, in Carlton. Dad got a job on the railways when I was 3 months old, so we moved to Queensland when I was a baby.
Yep.
Pretty much lived in a caravan from Brisbane to Cairns for till year 3. Went to like 12 primary schools because you just moved as the railway line got built in the 80s.
Yeah.
I only had railway friends, really. It was hard to sort of settle into a school or whatever because you're always moving all the time.
Did those friends move with you as well?
Yeah, they were most of my friends were Thursday Islanders. My dad was like one of the only white dudes in the railways back then. It was hard work, so they had big boys doing it. So yeah, most of my friends were TIs, and yeah, we just moved as the railway line got built, pretty much.
Okay. And
then Mum got homesick, asked Dad to go back to Victoria.
Yep.
So we went back to Victoria, pretty much. Then my parents got separated in year 3 or 4, or year 7 actually. Sorry.
Yeah.
Damn.
What age? What age is that?
First year of high school. So
first year of high school. Okay.
Yeah, probably 13 or 14. Yeah, I didn't see the separation coming, but I never even saw him fight. Okay. So yeah, I just got pulled in a room one day and asked pretty much, who do you want to live with?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I picked Dad. I think Mum thought I was going to pick Mum.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't get to go with Dad.
How did that work?
Just pretty much, who do you want to live with? I picked Dad. Oh no, wrong answer.
Yeah.
You're living with Mum.
So did you ever find out why they split up?
No idea.
No,
really.
Still to this day?
Nah, still to this day. She broke his heart pretty much. I think she sort of had a midlife crisis. After she left him, she started dating dudes that were like 5 years older than me, pretty much.
Wow. Which
is pretty weird.
Yeah.
They were in their 20s, you know. My mum was in her 40s, man. It was It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of Forrest Gump moments sitting in the lounge room while dudes are banging your mum and pretty full on shit like that, I guess.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Do you think that's influenced how you are today at all? Any of those moments?
At the time, it influenced me immensely. Like when my parents were together, I was actually really smart. Yep. I probably am still now, I don't know, but school-wise, I was very smart. I used to do schoolwork with the year above me and stuff like that because small country towns. But then when my parents got separated, I pretty much just we moved from house to house as my mum burnt bridges and just house hopped from friend to friend till they'd had enough of her. Yeah. My mum was a drug user, big drug user.
Is that why she was burning bridges?
Yeah, probably, yeah. Okay. I was young, so I didn't really see exactly what was going on. It was just like, oh, we're moving again. So it wasn't very stable. So then I sort of hated the world, didn't really keep up on the A grades. And went rollerblading and spray painting walls and being a bit of a rat bag.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Rebelling against the world. Yeah. And then, year 9, went for a holiday to see Dad in Karratha. He'd moved to Karratha. That's how I ended up in WA. Yep. Mum came with us pretty much led a lie, like made Dad think that they were still going to be together or something.
Oh, wow.
When I knew that what was going on back home with the younger dudes.
Yeah.
But yeah, end of the holiday, pretty much just said, I want to stay here. I don't want to go home. Because it wasn't a nice place to be, really.
And how old were you then?
That was year 9 of high school.
Okay.
And I think even then, as much as she didn't want me to move there, she knew how bad my upbringing had been. So she agreed as long as I passed year 12.
Oh, wow.
So I did that, but I did it. I did what I had to do to be able to stay with Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then got a job on the railways with Dad. Stayed on the railways for 7 years, worked all around Australia. Mm-hmm. Then, got an offer for an underground job. That's how I ended up back in WA again for the second time or third time. Bit of a gypsy. Made it back, got a job underground, and did underground for 3 years before the incident that we're probably about to talk about.
Yeah. So before we jump into that, I just want to ask a little bit about some of those events throughout your childhood.
Yeah.
So you would have spent a couple years with your mum going through all that stuff with the younger guys.
Yeah.
And was she still using drugs then?
She was abusing my mum. My mum was a drug user, self-harmer. Used to cut herself all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did she ever tell you why?
No, I never really got an explanation. I had to admit her into a mental institution when I was 14.
Wow.
Because I was the nearest next of kin. My grandparents come with me to help me do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, she used to do ECT, electric shock treatment.
Okay.
Which is like real old school shit.
Yeah, it is.
But there's still rare people in Australia that do it. And she's like one of the people that obviously needs it, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, she was pretty messed up.
Okay.
And I don't know. I'm used to it as just my life.
Yeah. I can imagine people listening would sort of be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's intense.
Yeah.
Going from that, having to admit her into a mental hospital, mental rehab.
Yeah.
And going through the young guys and the drug abuse.
Yeah.
What was it like going from living with her to living with your dad in Karratha?
Oh, like 3 million times better.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Me and my dad, he's not my biological father, but he was there from the day I was born.
Yeah.
He started dating my mum when she was pregnant with me. So he's my dad. I don't know anyone else that I would ever call dad. And it just shows what a man that he is.
Yeah,
like,
that's a good man.
He was willing to still take me on even after they separated.
Yeah.
And still to this day. Like, I haven't spoken to my mum for 3.5 years, but me and my dad are close as. I see my dad every year. He's in New South Wales, but I always either go there or he comes here. And we talk to each other probably. We're still dudes, so like probably once a month or something.
So improved your quality of life,
definitely.
I guess, moving in with him.
Yeah.
You said he got you a job, but before we jump to that FIFO story, you said something about not speaking to your mum for 3.5 years.
Yeah, that's
obviously people listening. That's going to sound crazy. Obviously, you've been through a lot growing up with her.
Yeah.
And her breaking your dad's heart, who you're still close with.
My mum was a very manipulative person. She definitely had mental health issues, but before that came on, she worked in mental health as well.
Yeah.
My mum's actually super intelligent, been to uni, like super intelligent. So she knows how to manipulate the system, knows how to use... There's no doubt that she has mental illness. There's scars on her arms to prove it, but she also knows how to use that to her advantage and manipulate people, and then people are too scared to say stuff in case it sets her off, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she also knows that, but because I'm her son, I know how she operates, so we've always butted heads because she's never been able to do that with me, ever.
Because you grew up around it.
Yeah, I grew up around it. I know what she's like. I've seen what she's done. I've seen the people that she's ripped off. I've seen her rip people off and end up in court over it for fraud and stuff like that, and use her mental illness to get away scot-free, because you can claim that I wasn't in a mental state. Do you know what I mean? I know how she operates. So we always butted heads. She would never call me. If she did, it was because she wanted money or a phone or something. It was a very one-sided relationship.
Yeah.
It was very... That's where we're getting to, why we don't talk.
Yeah.
Very close to my grandparents. They're both passed away now, but my grandfather was my hero. We hung out all the time. When my grandfather passed away, I flew over. Both of them, I flew over and sat next to them both while they died, pretty much. Wow. Did the night shift while everyone else went home, because I promised them both that they wouldn't be alone on their deathbed. Through interactions with my grandfather, even though he couldn't talk, he was still there mentally, and I could see that he was frustrated and trying to tell me something. So I worked out to write letters on a piece of paper, pointed at letters, got him to nod his head, spelt words out. He was after this jewellery. Long story short, my mother had hocked all the jewellery for drugs.
And what does hock mean?
Like taking them to cash converters.
Oh, so like stolen them and sold them?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense.
And that was the jewellery that my grandfather wanted to give down to his other daughters on his deathbed. I had already said to myself from a younger age that once my grandparents had passed away, because they were in Queensland where my mum was, in Queensland.
Yeah.
Once they were gone, I was going to wipe my hands of my mother anyways.
Okay.
I just had to tolerate her because she lived in the same state as my grandparents, and I still had to go there and visit my grandparents.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
And then she didn't even turn up to his funeral, which, like, that was my grandfather, but that was her dad. Yeah. And she didn't even turn up to her dad's funeral. So I know it sounds crazy. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, well, you haven't spoken to mum, but it's not crazy to me. Like, it makes complete sense.
It sounds
to
crazy
me.
when you just say it out of context, but when you explain having to go through what you went through with childhood, and then your granddad, who was your hero.
He was. I loved my grandfather, eh?
Yeah. Like I'm sitting in your house and you've got a bar for him.
Yeah. I've got a bar dedicated to him.
For him.
Yeah, he was my hero. So when she did that, it was already about to break anyways, but that was enough for me.
I can 100% understand why now.
Yeah.
Do you see any way of reconnecting with her at all, or do you feel like you've cut that cord completely?
I'll be dead honest. I know this sounds messed up, but I don't even know if she's alive.
Okay.
She has made no attempt to talk to me.
Yeah. She
knows how much I idolised my grandfather, so she knows the damage that has been done, I guess. Okay. And I thought about it a lot, about like, what happens if I got a phone call tomorrow saying my mum's dead? And then I'm like, would I feel bad that I haven't spoken to her? Would I break down? Would I, Yeah. And I don't know the answer, to be honest.
You don't know?
Yeah, I wouldn't know until it happened.
Okay.
It's something that would have to happen, but I don't want to make that contact because I know once I do, I'll be the next sponge.
Yeah. So you're sort of worried about getting dragged back into
I know what she's like. She'll be trying to come over here, move over here, wants money, wants this, wants that. It sounds messed up because it's my mum, but I know how she operates. So, yeah.
Well, yes, she is your mum.
Yeah.
But
she hasn't really acted like one.
Yeah, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Yeah.
Quote by Jim Rohn, who taught Anthony Robbins. But I truly believe that, and if you have someone negative in your life, it's only going to make your life worse. So you do have to cut those cords, even if they are close family. Yeah. And especially if that family member is as toxic as your mum was. So
very toxic.
Don't feel bad about that at all.
Yeah.
Even though I know people are going to listen.
Yeah.
And you might feel like they're judging.
Yeah.
Don't feel bad about that.
Yeah. I'll be honest, for me, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a simple, for me. And as I get older, I just turned 36. I'm not old, but I'm not spring chicken no more.
Yeah.
And I firmly believe, like you just said, I find my friend base getting smaller, but the ones that I've got, we're tight as. Yeah. Most of my friends I've been friends with for nearly 20 years. If we've got an issue, we just ring each other up. That's what friends do. Yeah. And then you get over it and you
So there's a bit of trust there amongst that friend?
Yeah, very much. They're all my mates are my high school mates from Karratha.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but obviously we went through the period where rent was $3 million a week.
Yeah.
So everybody moved from Karratha to Perth.
Yeah.
Or Bunbury or, and most of us still do FIFO, but we're all in Perth now. Yeah. But yeah, the old K-Town connection's pretty strong.
K-Town.
That's what something about Karratha.
Mermaids, Karratha Tavern.
Yeah, bro. Something about that town that everyone's pretty tight, eh?
Yeah. Well, we need to wrap up this childhood before we get onto your story.
Yeah.
And might feel a little bit awkward, but
Yeah.
If you could say one thing to your mum, if by some miracle she listens to this at some point, if she is still here.
Oh, that is a tough one.
Is there something you'd like to say to her?
Side one.
Freestyle, man. Just go with the flow.
That's really hard. I guess I would ask her to treat people the way you want to be treated. I guess I know that's probably a bit cliche, but like life sometimes is that simple. Like, if you're a nice person, people are nice to you. I guess I just hope she has learnt from the lesson. If she's still here, I just hope she's still not doing what she's doing. Yeah, that's a hard one.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
At least that's constructive and positive in a sense.
Yeah, in a sense.
Like not attacking.
It's about it. No, I've never wanted to attack her. No doubt about it. If you ask my small, close group of friends, I'm very high on morals. I'm very high on honesty. I've got this theory in my head that if you always tell the truth, right?
Yep.
This is the way I think. If you always tell the truth, people can't be angry at you. They can not like what you're saying or not like your opinion, but they can't be angry at you for being honest.
Yeah.
So I'm just always honest. Yeah, it's how I've always lived my life.
Oh, that's amazing, man. Not too many people like that. So fast forward to FIFO for anyone listening who by some chance doesn't know what FIFO is. FIFO is fly in, fly out. So you get a job.
It's a nightmare.
You're based in like a major city in Australia, and they fly you to Bumper.
Yeah.
So you work in the desert, and then you sleep in these little cabins.
Yeah.
Have all your food and everything, the accommodation paid for. Now
jail food.
Yeah. When did you start doing that?
I started doing that in my early 20s. I was over on the railways over east. Sorry, I just got a bit lost there in between drinks. I was over on the railways. My partner at the time had friends in WA. Her friend was like asking when I was going to bring her back to WA because she missed her. She worked in an underground mining company called Burncut. And she, pretty much said, if I get your job in the mines, will you come back? And I said, if you get me a job in the mines, I'll be back tomorrow. Like, at the time, that's all you wanted to do was get in the mines. So came back, worked a couple of different sites, moved around. The boom was booming, so pretty much someone offered me 50 cents more an hour.
Yep.
I was gone. Even now, I've been mining 12 years, and this is my 10th mine site.
Shit.
So I used to do the rounds, no loyalty, just show me the money.
That's what you do, though.
Yeah, well, that's why we do it. I was with them for 2-3 years, and then McMahon's at Argyle Diamonds. Everyone's heard of Argyle Diamonds, the pretty pink diamond.
Yeah.
Everyone pretty much jumped ship and went there because they were offering 8 and 6, but same money.
Wow.
So pretty much 50.
For anyone who doesn't know, 2 and 1 means 2 weeks away at work, 1 week back in the city, and 8 and 6 is 8 days away and 6 days back.
Yeah, shitload better. I keep forgetting that not everyone's a miner.
Yeah.
Sorry. But so 15 of us jumped ship and went there to work for McMahon's.
Yep.
And then, that's where
so this is sort of where your story begins.
Yeah, that's where the big incident.
Well, if you're comfortable sharing it, then take it away, brother.
Yeah, comfortable as. So, working underground, I was leading hand service crew. Service crew pretty much is working in shit conditions so everyone else can have good conditions. Extending water, air, ventilation. Every time they do a blast, I'm trying to explain this so like normal non-miners can understand. Yep. Obviously, they know what a blast is. Every time they do a blast, obviously the tunnel goes further. So when the tunnel goes further, you have to extend all your air, water, ventilation as you blast down the hole. The water pipes are they're 110 mil poly pipe, which is probably as round as, you say, a football.
Yeah.
Yeah, a smaller football, pretty much. Big pipe.
And when you say football, that's
It's a rugby ball.
Yeah, rugby ball.
It's always a rugby ball.
Not a soccer ball.
No, always a rugby ball. So we're extending the airline, and you have to put rubber seals in and join the pipes together. I don't know how much PSI goes through one of them, but it's a lot because it pretty much nearly killed me. But we'd extended a line, and at the end of the line, you put like a tap, and that's for the jumbos, the drills. They plug into the tap, and the air goes to the drill.
Okay.
When you extend a line, when you unisolate the pipe to let the air run through, obviously you isolate it when you're working on it so you don't get smashed by air.
So when you isolate it, sort of pretty much stopping it from functioning. So
you're shutting down the stored energy, I guess, in mining company terms. You shut down the stored energy so you can't get injured by it because it can smash you up.
Yeah.
So the problem with the mine that we were at, Argyle has a lot of isolation points that are a long way away from where you're working. Sometimes 2 levels, so they're actually levels down or above where you are.
Yeah.
So when you unisolate an airline after you've extended it, you have to leave the tap on the end open.
Yeah.
Because the pressure, if it's closed, will blow the fitting clean off the end. That's a rough idea of how much PSI is going through there. So I was left there because I was leading hand, and they went down 2 levels to unisolate. And the procedure is when they unisolate, if you're at the tap, when you hear the air coming out the tap, then you slowly close the tap. Okay. And normally the air stops, everything's good.
Yeah.
One of the blokes hadn't done their joiner up properly, say 10, 15 metres down the pipe from where I was.
Yep.
So when I shut the tap, it blew. So pretty much imagine if you grabbed the fire hose and just let it go and didn't hold on to it. That's pretty much what was happening, except this thing was 5 times bigger than a fire hose.
Yeah, that was the whole 110 mil pipe.
Whole 110 mil poly pipe. They chain them to they call them the backs, which is the top of the tunnel. I'm trying to explain it in non-mining terms. Top of the tunnel, that's where they chain them. So what happened was there's so much PSI coming out of this pipe that it actually fed itself back through 3 of the chains and become free, and was literally just whipping around like a fire hose if you weren't holding onto it. Okay. The problem was when you're mining, there's no lights. The only light I had was the cap lamp on my head.
Yep.
And the drive, or the tunnel, the drive that I was in, we were up on top of a hill upwards. Okay. So there's no moisture. So all the dirt in that tunnel was pretty much like talcum powder. So if you can imagine sitting in a tunnel made of talcum powder and grabbing a blower, for example, you're not going to see shit. It was pretty much like being in a fire.
Yep.
I had no idea where I was, let alone where that pipe was. Okay. So when the pipe blew, I pretty much ran back to the side of the wall, and I had the wall against my back. I could hear this thing thrashing around, but I could not see it. It was like if you're in a fire and you turn a torch on, I could see my beam, but nothing. Do you know what I mean? Because it's so smoky or powdery. Yeah. I had no idea where I was, so I was trying to work out my bearings because I knew one end was a dead end, and I didn't want to end up in there, and the other end was where the ute was, and I needed to get out. So pretty much sat against the wall probably for what felt like 30 seconds, going fuck, because I had no idea where I was. And then I heard the pipe. It missed my head by about 30 centimetres. It was very close. If it had hit my head, it would have been like hitting a melon with a hammer, pretty much.
Really, you think it would have?
Like, it would have decapitated me just about.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, what it did to my body, which we'll get to, it definitely would have caved my head in. Okay. No dramas whatsoever.
Man, that's scary.
Yeah, I was shitting myself, no doubt about it. So, still sat there for like 30 seconds because I didn't know where to go. And then it came past my head again. Still didn't see it, but heard it. Yeah. And that's where I just had to, I guess, make an executive decision of me and myself.
And your life.
And my life. I was like, I've just got to run, man. Either way, if I sit here, I'm gone. Yeah. So I did. I got up and I ran. I've always had a bit of pace in rugby, so I gave it full noise. Yeah. And I actually got through the dust and I could see the ute, and I was like, sweet. I've picked the right way at least. Yeah. And then next minute, bang, like I'd been hit by a car. The pipe hit me from behind, under my arm in the rib cage. Wow. Threw me about 6 meters in the air.
6 meters?
Yeah, launched me, bro. Landed on the ground. Best way I can describe it is a goldfish out of water, gasping for air. That was me, laying on my side by myself. It was pretty scary. I was by myself. I knew that they were 2 levels away, so I knew that they would have no idea what had even gone on. They wouldn't have heard it. They were miles away. I undid my overalls and reached my hand inside and felt my rib cage, and the shape of the pipe was in the side of my body. So where it hit me, it just caved me in, pretty much. It broke 5 of my ribs, One of my ribs went through my lung and punctured my lung. The other one lacerated my liver. And then, as I found out later, so I was laying on my side, freaking out, couldn't move, just gasping for air, pretty much. That's how it's running on one lung's not cool. And then the ute pulled up. I remember seeing them pull up, but from a side vision, I guess, because I was laying on my side.
Yep.
So I just saw the ute pull up. I saw them get out, and they were signalling for me to keep coming. Obviously, they could see the pipe thrashing behind me.
Yep.
And obviously, they didn't realise how busted up I was. So I don't know how I managed to get to my feet, and I walked 2 steps and boom, straight back on my face because I was busted hard. And then that's when they realised how bad it was, and 2 blokes ran in and got under my arms and dragged me out away from the pipe.
So when you're lying there, what were you thinking?
I'm not dying in this hole.
You're not dying?
No, I was very determined that I was not going to die in this hole. Not saying I didn't think I was going to die in the hole, if that makes sense, but I was very determined that, no, this is not how it goes. All the time shitting myself, but
Did that thought cross your mind?
Yeah, not at that exact time.
Yeah.
There was a time, and it was only about 10 seconds, but probably the worst 10 seconds of my life. When you actually think you're going to die, it's not cool. It's so scary. Like, because you just start thinking, just shit, I haven't spoken to my missus, I haven't seen my dad for 6 months, I haven't seen the world yet. Like 3 hours of I haven't go through your head in like 10 seconds. And I wouldn't wish that feeling upon anyone, really. But they got me, they pulled me out to the side, and they were going to wait for ERT. For those that aren't miners, that's Emergency Rescue Team, which is usually just your workmates in a different pair of overalls. If we'll be honest, I used to do it. They're not as professional as real paramedics or something.
Yeah.
I know how long they take to get ready. And I pretty much said, no, you just pick me up and put me on the backseat of this ute.
Okay.
And you get me out of here because I'm dying. We don't have time to wait for ERT. So they got me on the back seat. They called on the radio for clearance so everyone would stay off the tunnel.
Yep.
So I had a clear path out. Got me up to the surface. They had me on one of those, like a stretcher board. Not a proper stretcher, but one of those blue boards. Got me out, got me into the nurse's office. One thing that I found out later that really pissed me off, to be honest, when you go down underground, you have to put a tag on the board, and no one's allowed to remove anybody else's tag. Only that person can take their own tag off.
Okay.
They took my tag off so they could get the blast away.
Wow.
So that, to me, their tons of dirt was more important than my life. Everything should have just stopped when something like that happens. And I still to this day am bewildered how they even got away with it. I was too worried about being alive.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I found that shit out later, and by then it was too late. It just pissed me off. But so they got me up to the nurse's office in the back of a troopy. I distinctly remember laying on my back, and the door opened, which was above my head because I was laying down, and it was the mine manager. And his words were, "Well, Shannon, what have we done here?" Like, I don't think they fully realised the severity of what had happened.
Yeah.
Put me on a bed. They tried to give me one of those green whistles, but because I had a collapsed lung, which they didn't realise yet.
So what's a green whistle?
A green whistle is, like, I guess, what the paramedics and ambos give you when you, say, you break an arm, or if you're watching Bondi Rescue or something like that, you'll see them break an arm and they give the kid a little green whistle to suck on.
Okay. And
it's just equivalent of morphine in a whistle. You just suck on it and it gets rid of the pain.
Okay.
But because I had a collapsed lung, I had one suck and just, it messed me up. I couldn't suck in because I was running on one lung.
So at what point did they realise how bad it was?
Well, the nurse put a stethoscope to my chest. I actually sort of self-diagnosed myself. I was sitting on the bed because what happened was my lung that had collapsed. I was building up with fluid and I was literally drowning.
Yep.
And I could feel when I was breathing, I could feel bubbling. And I said to the nurse, I can feel bubbling in my chest. And she put a stethoscope to my chest and just freaked out, which wasn't very reassuring to me.
Oh, God.
Just went, oh my God, he's having a hemothorax. I'm not qualified for this, right? And I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die.
Holy crap.
I'm going to die here.
How scared were you then?
Yeah, very, very scared. When she did that, I was super scared because the one person that's meant to be fixing me is just having a panic attack about not being qualified for what's wrong with me, and I'm in the middle of the desert. Do you know what I mean? Yep. So I was freaking hard. What they had to do, they couldn't fly me out because my lung had collapsed because of the altitude.
Okay.
So they had to fly a doctor in from Kununurra.
How far was that?
It took him a good 2.5 hours to get there. But that's like, you know, they've got to organise the plane, get him on the plane. Like, it's probably an hour flight, to be honest. Okay. But by the time they all got their shit together.
So between the incident, so getting hit by the pipe,
yeah,
and the doctor getting there,
yeah,
it would have been 3-4 hours.
4.5 hours.
4.5 hours, and all you'd had to block out the pain would be the green whistle you were talking about.
Yeah, well, I had one toke on it and coughed my lungs up. So I didn't really have anything.
So
they gave me oxygen.
Oxygen.
You know, like on a mask. I guess I was in pain, but I think when you have something like that happen, you're shitting yourself that much that sort of subdues the pain because you're more worried about, am I going to live?
Yeah.
So I was definitely in pain, but once I was on the bed in the nurse's office, I was sort of laying down on like a 45, you know, they tilt you up.
Yep.
And I just sort of had to lay there and control my breathing and not freak out and just try and be composed because I was drowning. Yep. So freaking out's not going to help the situation. So they flew a doctor in on like a little 2-seater Buddy Holly plane.
Wow. Yeah,
from Kununurra. He landed, came in. They put me on a table and cut me. Had 2 people hold me down. He gave me morphine. He gave me some injections to like obviously null the pain. Still hurt, I'm not going to lie. And they cut me with a scalpel under my armpit. And pretty much just rammed a hose, not like a garden hose, probably half the width of a garden hose. A little bit more than a thick straw, I guess. Rammed the hose through my rib cage, down into my lung.
Into your lung?
Yeah, into my lung.
Cut into your lung?
Or he cut my ribs to get to my lung. Okay. Rammed the hose in there to get to my lung because my lung was full of fluid. Like I said, I was drowning. Yeah. I then proceeded to splurge about 1.5 litres of fluid all over the nurse. The safety officer or training dude, he left, nearly spewed up outside or whatever, he couldn't handle it. But for me, it was instant satisfaction. Like, I actually felt that pipe hit my lung. I just went, and I could breathe again because all the fluid was gone. And then they did this really weird thing where they pretty much like siphoning a fuel tank. Like that, they left that pipe in there and they put like a glass jar on my rib cage and they masking taped it to my rib cage and it just kept sucking out the fluid. And I thought this was just going to be a temporary thing.
Yeah. But so before you go further, you're still fully awake.
Yeah, I was never asleep. I was awake the whole time.
You had broken ribs.
5, yeah.
You had 5 broken ribs, a collapsed lung,
and a lacerated liver.
Cut into under your armpit and had a pipe shoved in you. What the hell were you thinking?
Yeah.
What was just going through your head?
I was just focused. I'll be honest. I was determined to live.
Yeah.
So that's all I was focused on at the time. But that moment that I said I thought I was going to die, that was 10 seconds when I was in the back of that ute and they were driving me up because it's a very dark place down there.
Yeah.
And I reached in my overalls, felt that hole again and had those thoughts. Oh, my mum, my dad, you know, rah, rah. Because at that stage I was still talking to my mum. Yeah. But then it was literally 10 seconds and then I was like, nah, this is not how I'm going down. So then that's what I was focused on. So he pumped me full of morphine. Then I had to climb onto a 2-seater Buddy Holly plane with 5 broken ribs, a punctured lung and a lacerated liver. They wheelchaired me out to
Was morphine still working though?
Yeah, not good enough.
No, not good enough.
I was in pain. Oh, I was all right like when I was laying down, but climbing in a plane with 5 broken ribs, no amount of morphine is going to make that good. And then they flew me to Kununurra, low altitude. Yep. So, because my lung still had a hole in it. Got me to Kununurra. I literally spent 5 days off my face on morphine, just pushing the button till I couldn't push it no more. I stayed there for 4 or 5 days till I stabilised. Yep. Then once I stabilised, they got me on a Royal Flying Doctor's plane. Still flew below the clouds. I had a whole spaghetti of wires and shit all on my chest. Wow. Stopped in at Port Hedland, swapped doctors, then left Port Hedland, got to Perth. Was totally rocked off my face. I've been on morphine for like 5-6 days. The minute I got to Perth, the nurses were like, get him off the morphine. Like I was pretty much space cadet. I only actually spent 2 nights in Perth. Funny thing was, I still had that jar connected to me the whole time. Like, I thought when I got to Perth, I was going to get some new modern technology. Yeah. But the jam jar with the hose stayed with me for another 2 days in Perth.
What The heck?
And they emptied it twice. So they probably got 3 litres of fluid out of my lungs. Or my lung, one lung.
Yep.
Then they took it out, sewed me up. I went home, had my partner at the time. It was pretty rough. I couldn't sleep anywhere, couldn't lay in my bed on my back, couldn't lay on my stomach, couldn't lay on my side, couldn't fart, sneeze, burp, laugh. Just couldn't do anything pretty much. 5 broken ribs suck.
So how was your partner at the time?
She was supportive at first.
Yep.
But I started, obviously the pain subsided. For the first probably month, I slept on the couch sitting upright. Wow. We had to go to Clark Rubber and get a triangle cushion made up for me because I just couldn't lay down in my bed. I couldn't lay down full stop because it bent my ribs too much. Okay. Obviously that affected the relationship because I'm not in the bed with my partner. I'm sitting up on the couch every night. And then when I was ready to get back into bed, I started having nightmares. I don't remember what they were. Yeah. I only know what she told me. So I was waking up yelling, screaming, taking out bedside lamps. I spent 4 months at home, which was very draining mentally, like not working.
During that 4 months, was your partner staying home to look after you?
No, she still had to go to work. Okay. Yeah. Obviously, my memory's really bad, but she would have stayed for like the first week or whatever. But then, she would have food prepped and all that for me, and nothing like that. But it was just affecting her sleep as well. She had a job as well, and I'm kicking her out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, wigging out, and she ended up leaving me. It did affect the relationship immensely. I can totally understand it. I like sleeping. If someone was kicking me at 2 o'clock in the morning every night for a month and a half, I'd get over it. Yeah, so...
Was there anything else? Was obviously having broken ribs, you'd sort of be immobile for the most part.
Yeah, I still got around a bit, but like I said, every time I needed to sneeze or something like that, I'd like brace myself and then end up on the floor in tears, just like...
You said she left you, were kicking her out of bed 2 in the morning and she was getting over not being able to sleep and then having to go to work.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you think may have caused her to walk away?
No, we were pretty solid. Yeah? Yeah. I don't know. I've had it happen a couple of times, actually, when big things go down. Yeah. I guess that's a test of a relationship, really. Like, the ones... I'll find her one day. The ones that stick around through the hard times and just not there for the good times, I guess. Yeah. And they're definitely out there.
Talking about her walking away, was she just a partner at the time or were you married?
No, not married. No. But we'd been together 3-4 years.
Before we go further past you having the 4 months off work, being away from work, that's what men see as their value that they provide, I guess. Yeah. How did that affect you mentally?
Oh no, I was depressed as.
You're depressed?
So, yeah, fully depressed. So the joint that I was working at was just a warehouse. Like I had my forklift ticket and I could drive a forklift, but I was a big bad miner, man. I wasn't just a big bad miner. I was an underground miner. I was a real miner. That's how it was. I'm an open cut miner now, but when I used to work underground, we used to call them sunshine miners. And landscape gardeners, because
I'm an open cut miner.
Yeah.
So that's the first I've heard of that.
Yeah, well, that was the big thing. Like the underground, like we're the real men. We go down the hole, like it's stupid. It's just dumb man shit. Yeah. And I'm very happy being a sunshine miner now. To be honest, it's a mugs game going down that hole. Yeah. But at the time, I thought I was a underground tough miner. And now I'm in a warehouse in Welshpool driving a forklift, working with dudes that I just didn't really like, to be honest.
Okay. So you thought you were a little bit above that sort of
Not
work?
Above it, just like a different camaraderie and stuff. And that's one thing I still miss. I'd never go down that hole again, but it's one thing I miss about underground is the camaraderie. Like, because you've all got to have each other's back down there. And even if you have a drama, you still have a beer at the pub. At the end of the day, it all washes away in the rain, sort of thing. Yeah. Whereas open cut is very much a bit of a bitchy game. Yeah.
Do you think that's because your life is on the line down there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because you have to rely on your mates. Mike was proof in itself. They're the one that's dragged me out and got me in the back of that ute and listened to me. Yeah, they were a mile away and they didn't know, but when they got there, they got me out of the shit. They put themselves in the line of fire to get me out. They could have gone, nah, too dangerous. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely... One of the dudes who actually pulled me out, he snatched it the next day.
Oh, well.
that was enough for him to realise that he cared about his family more. And even though it wasn't him that got hit, I guess it made him think, what if it was me? And he snatched it the next day.
So snatched it for anyone that's not Australian.
That's quit your job.
Quit your job, nice.
Cobber digger.
So you're talking about going from working underground, pretty well-paying jobs, having to work in a warehouse in Welshpool. What sort of thoughts were going through your head at that time?
Well, I'd lost my partner. I was still on the same money, so I shouldn't complain because it was an easy job.
Yeah.
Well, I was on 3/4 because after 3 months you drop down 3/4 or whatever. But it wasn't the money. I just hated the job. So I was literally, I'm not going to lie, and I'm not like this, but I never have sickies. But when I was doing that, I was coming in like 3 days a week because I just hated the job. And I knew I was on compo and I just wanted them to get me back to my normal job, you know. Got super depressed, so they'd sent me to a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
I was still having the nightmares and smashing shit and all that, but it didn't really matter because there was no one in the bed anymore. But spoke to them about that, and that's when I was diagnosed with PTSD. For those that don't know, post-traumatic stress disorder, I think it is. So yeah, got diagnosed with that. Had to go to 5 or 6 like psych sessions. I was dead against it because I was young and I'm not crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like, and some of the shit he was doing was really weird. Like, look at my finger, follow my finger.
Okay.
Sitting on a couch, you know, follow my finger. Okay, now what are you thinking? And I'm thinking, why are you telling me to follow your finger? Like, but there's obviously a method in the madness. 5 or 6 sessions later, no more PTSD, which I think is pretty lucky. I think some people aren't that lucky or that quick.
And how did that show up in your life? How could you tell that?
Well, the nightmares and all that stopped.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the things he did, it was really weird. I hope I'm not giving away psychiatrist secrets, but he told me to think of the worst part of the whole incident. Yeah. And I said, well, it was that 10-second part that I thought I was going to die. Yeah. And he said, now think about that part. Now look at my finger. Now follow my finger. It sounds weird, eh, bro? I know, it's so weird. Shit. Yeah, it was so weird. And even at the end, I was like, I'm just thinking, why are you telling me to follow my finger? And he was like, oh, look, you know, there's a method in it, rah, rah, rah. And yeah, 6 sessions later, no more nightmares.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the finger. I don't know, but I just remember the finger because it was weird. But yeah, did that, brought back to work, went down the hole for about 25 minutes, and I didn't trust anyone that I work with because that pipe that blew, that wasn't my joiner. Yeah. There was someone else's joiner that blew. Okay. So I was in a big dilemma because I didn't trust anyone that I work with, so I wanted to check every joiner, which is unproductive. You won't get the job done in time. So essentially I couldn't really do my job anymore. Okay. I always, and I still stand by it today, I always said if it was my joiner, I probably would have been able to keep doing my job because I know I would never do that again because I would have learned that lesson. Do you know what I mean? But because it was somebody else, you can't control that.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had to have a meeting with my mine manager explaining what I just said. I don't think I can do my job because I can't check everyone's joiner. I will be down there all day doing a 5-minute job. Yeah. And yeah, they were shit scared that I was going to go for a payout, but I was young, dumb, believed in the black texter mark beside your name, so didn't want to claim anything in the worry that I would never get a job in the mines again.
Well, looking back now,
yeah, definitely I would have took that cash. It would have helped me with my mortgage. Yeah. And I still would have got a job in the mines because the texter thing's a load of shit. Yeah. But it's just something that people put in your head back in those days even more, probably.
It's a safeguard for mines.
Yeah. So that's how I got into open cut. They said, what do you want to do? In hindsight, I should have said I'll have an apprenticeship, but I just never thought I could live off that sort of money. I've always earned okay money. So I said, I'll go and drive those big trucks.
Yeah. So a big dump truck?
Yeah, big dump truck, yeah.
And that's something you're still doing at the moment?
Yeah, for Rio, another company now. I've worked my way to a week on, week off roster.
Oh, awesome.
Which is...
I can imagine that's a bit better for your mental state.
Yeah, I still have my moments, but you can't really get a better roster than this, so I shouldn't complain. Yeah. But I still would love to get out of mining. I guess everyone who's done FIFO, you would know you feel trapped. Yeah. You're chained to the coin. You don't know if you can work on less. So yeah, I still struggle with that shit now. Operating's probably a bad job. Operating machinery sort of sucks because you're in a cab by yourself. Yeah. It's literally a square cubic meter. You're in it for 12 and a half hours by yourself. So if you've got something on your mind or you're stressing out about something, so you can turn the smallest thing into the worst thing in the world. I've got no problem with it. The amount of times I've driven around in my truck crying and nobody knows. Yeah, really. Nobody knows because you're in your truck by yourself. Yep. But it's worrying about money and mortgages and this and divorces and whatever's going on in your life at the time. That's one thing I also miss about underground. When I was working with my mates, very easy not to think about that stuff because interacting with your mates.
Got that
camaraderie. Most jobs, really. You interact a lot in an office or in a gym or whatever, you know what I mean? But operating, it's you in that cab with your thoughts. Yeah, you got a radio, but if you're doing your job properly, you shouldn't need to use that radio, pretty much. So it is you and your thoughts and your newspaper and your podcasts. Which is what I need. I'm learning is podcasts are a good distraction in a machine.
So going back, I guess now that we've gone through your story, if you're to look back now, having gone through what you did with the pipe hitting you, having been cut open while you're still awake, to lights to and fro to finally get the treatment you needed, and then going from there to coming back home and having to readjust, being semi-immobile and having your partner leave, to working in that workshop and then finally getting back to work and then realizing you can't do the job that put you in this position. If you were to look back now, what would be the biggest lesson you would take away from all of that?
No pretty pink diamond is worth your life, pretty much. And I know it's a bit hypocritical because I'm still digging iron ore now. Yeah, those moments when you're laying there thinking, oh man, I'm going to die, all for so someone can have a pretty pink diamond on their ring. Yeah, it makes you think about the simple things. And even now, like even with my divorce and all the other shit that's gone on, that's one of the biggest things I've learned in my life is that possessions are just possessions. Memories are heaps better. So don't worry about buying all the big shit. Minimalist is the key, and see the world and live life and have no regrets. Don't tie yourself to a mortgage that, do you know what I mean? I guess I just went on a big tangent, but...
No, that's all right.
I want to get out, bro.
Yeah,
definitely. Okay. It's not something that can happen overnight. That's the problem. Yeah, I'm definitely ready. 14 years is enough, and I'm definitely ready for my exit plan.
Okay, so would you say that sort of flipped your perspective on life and what you're chasing with FIFO? You give up a portion of your life because you're working away from family, from the city.
Yeah.
You're working in the desert. You're giving up that life in return for money. But with FIFO comes a spending habit. That sort of flipped your perspective and made you aware of not needing that money and not spending it on, I guess,
no, definitely. That's what like we're sitting now in this big house. I've just paid 70 grand to keep it after a divorce, and I used the front quarter of the house.
Yeah.
We're sitting in the lounge room that I haven't sat on this couch in 3 months. I don't need all this shit. Yeah. But because of this mortgage, I can't travel. So I don't know, for me, stuff's just stuff. And it's taken me a long time to realise that. I'm 36 now. It's taken me a long time to realise that, but it's all just shit that you don't need. Most of it, it looks pretty, whatever. You get to 30, all your mates are having babies, none of them come around to check out your pretty shit anyways.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, and now I just want to travel and I want to see the world. I've seen a few countries. Like everyone, I want to see more. It's always never enough. And having all this stuff is stopping me from doing that. So I want an exit plan. I want to probably sell this big stupid house, as pretty as it is, and go travel.
Okay, so taking away the change in perspective, what would you say, was there anything that you used to help get you through that period in terms of mentally?
The psych definitely helped, no doubt about it. Yeah, definitely. He helped, and one thing that sort of worked in my favour, which happens rarely in mining, their doctor started backing me because they were sort of holding out on getting me into open cut.
Okay.
And their doctor started writing that, look, he's now ready for work and now you guys are causing him depression. which is rare because they're usually on the company side.
Yeah.
But he was like, this dude is fully ready for work. He's said what he wants to do, and he's still in the warehouse. Now you guys are causing him to be depressed, so this is on you. That got things moving, I guess. Does that answer your question? Yeah. I'm so confused right now.
No, that's all right. So, I guess moving on from your story to the recovery.
Yeah.
And to come back, you're saying the psych was the biggest help in helping you actually overcome what you're going through.
Yeah, and I've used them for other things too.
So you used them for, was it mainly PTSD
I've used them.
Diagnosed you for?
Yeah, that's what I was for the work thing was PTSD, but I've used one after my divorce. Okay. I've used disclaimer people, don't be scared to use a psychiatrist. They're actually good. I think people that don't use psychiatrists are the crazy ones. Just putting it out there.
It's quite odd, being someone who very amongst all the stories that people have at the moment with this open up group in the podcast.
Yeah.
My perspective's flipped on psychologists and psychiatrists now as well, because looking at it from the lenses I had on back then, which is the FIFO, the don't talk about your shit.
What do you think? I don't need one of them. I'm not crazy.
Man up.
Yeah.
You see psychologists and psychiatrists as people who crazy people see.
Yeah, that's right.
Now I see it as like a PT for your brain.
Yeah, there definitely is. You give your car a service, give your brain a service.
Yeah.
And same, your body, you go to the gym so your body's fit. And if anything, your brain's probably the most important thing out of the lot, because if that's gone, doesn't matter how pretty you look.
So you swear by the psychologist, or was it a psychologist?
I actually don't know. Okay, I've used counsellors before at work. It won't always work with some people. You have to find the one that fits you. So yeah, the counsellors didn't work for me, so I went and spoke to my doctor. Okay. You can get a thing called a mental health plan that gets you 10 sessions with a psych. You still have to pay, but it gets you a Medicare rebate, which makes it a hell of a lot cheaper. Mm-hmm. And for those that don't know, you can do that every year.
Wow. So
you can actually go into your GP once a year and say, we'll have a few dramas, I need to talk to someone, and you'll get 10. And I used 8 last year. And sometimes it's just good to even talk about stuff. This has been pretty cool, to be honest. Sorry.
No, you're right.
I keep touching the mic. Sometimes it's good just to talk to someone that you don't even know. That's why I was even open to this. I know Lockie, but I don't know all of you out there listening in Pod World. But I was like, I'm just going to give it a crack. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes it's good to just get stuff off your chest. I have no doubt my friends are going to listen to this. Some of my closest friends know this stuff already. Probably not all of it, but they know a lot about me already. But sometimes, even though they're your best friends, it's still hard to tell them. And the thing I like about a psych or a counsellor or whatever, if you find the one that you like, is you can tell them anything, bro, and then you can just shut the door and walk out. And
not have to deal with
not see them until next time you want to tell them some more shit.
And you don't have to worry that you're going to run and tell another
They're not going to tell nobody.
They're going to judge you. Because you know at some point they've dealt with someone who's a little worse off than you are.
Yeah. So I highly recommend it. And I'm a big bad miner, so it's cool to use psychiatrists, dudes.
It's cool, yes. It's got to be a hashtag somewhere.
Yeah, man up and get a psych.
Yeah. Get mentally fit.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess looking back at that now, going back to what you're saying with the PTSD and having those nightmares stop and stopping having those fits during the night, since you went back to open cut mining, have you ever fallen back into that state of depression? Or
yeah, definitely. I've never had PTSD again. That was definitely from that incident.
Yeah.
But yeah, depression. Every second day, bro.
Every second.
It's a slight exaggeration, but yeah, I pretty much have a shit day a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
not when I'm home. I love my break.
Yeah. So what causes you to have
overthinking?
Overthinking.
Yeah. I sit in my cab and I think about my mortgage and how I'm not living. I'm not seeing the world. I'm just paying this house, hoping that one day I'll find the princess and build the family and all that. But if that never happens, am I wasting my time? Because right now, I could be in Japan or Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how I think.
Okay.
And I'm borderline OCD. I think what it comes down to is because I had such a unorganised upbringing with my mother, I am super organised.
Okay.
Everything's to a plan. Ask my friends, like, I freak out if we don't get there on time and shit. I get all Rain Man and shit. I need to watch Wheel of Fortune at 4:30, bro. That's slight exaggeration. I hope whoever's listening has actually watched the movie Rain Man, or that's just going to be really weird.
Oh my god.
Just watch the movie and you'll understand.
So we're talking about you having these shit days, these depressed days.
Yeah.
Like you said, what is it? You're thinking about not being chained to this mortgage, this debt, and not being able to go out and live your life. So what is it that's making you depressed? Is it that you feel like you're missing out on life?
Yeah, I feel like, how do I explain this? All I've ever wanted is to build the dream home, have missus, have kids, settle down.
Yeah.
So I did that, did the plan, got in the market, sold that house, built the dream home with the primary school 50 metres from the house.
Yeah.
Next to the beach, ready to have kids. Next minute, divorce.
Okay.
Plan did not go to plan.
Yeah.
Even now, like, it's been a year and a half and I'm still dealing with it, you know, but I've dealt with the nasty, shitty bit of it where you got to pay out and argue over furniture and shit like that. That's all done. But now, quite often I sit in this big house and think, was it worth it? Because now I hate this house. I should be in Japan. If you haven't noticed, I want to go to Japan.
Yes. What is it about Japan?
I don't know. I just like culture, like mad culture. Been to Africa. Yeah. Europe didn't really blow me away. I like countries that like hell different.
Awesome.
I want to go to Vietnam and eat a like rotten bird egg.
A what?
Rotten bird egg.
Ugh.
Got to do that shit once. You got to try everything once. Yeah, you'll dry reach, but it's part of life. You just got to do it. You got to try everything.
So, ladies, he's willing to take risks.
Yeah, definitely.
If you want to go eat a rotten bird egg, hit my man up. Keep going on tangents, but getting back on track. Say you're feeling like you're missing out on life. You built this picture up in your head of having the American dream, which is the wife and kids, the home.
Yeah.
Would you say that your depression comes from a fear of failure to live up to that dream?
Yeah, definitely, because that's what I want. Yeah. And now I watch all my mates now having kids. And this is one of the things, like, being lonely sucks. I only talk to half my family for starters, and the half that I do talk to, none of them live in WA. I don't have a relative in this state, so I live here by myself. Every single one of my mates is having kids, amazing babies. I go around there, I'm jealous. I love them, but I want one of my own. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And then you can't blame them. They're in that stage of their life. They got to do the baby thing, you know, and then I come home and sit in this massive house and cook my one little steak and my little salad and sit up the front quarter of the house and just think, what am I doing, mate? I've just turned 36 and I know, like, I don't have eggs. I know that I'm a dude, but I still feel like that clock's ticking, if that makes sense. Okay. This is not how I imagine life. Not at all.
Yeah. I can just tell by, like, the expression in your face that cuts you deep.
Yeah, fully. Yeah.
You're watching your friends go through this and obviously, this is a huge house.
Yeah, because I was ready for a huge family.
This is a massive house, and I can imagine it'd suck to be sitting, having dinner alone here.
Yeah, it does.
Man, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
To go through that.
Yeah.
But what are your steps to get you from here closer to where you want to be?
Well, I've read The Barefoot Investor.
Yeah, if you haven't read that, then
read that shit. I'm telling you, you need to read that shit. I just chopped up. I don't even have a credit card anymore, thanks to that. I'm not even joking. Like, it's, just tangent, I know, but read The Barefoot Investor. If you freak out about money and it makes you depressed and you stress out, it's a good plan.
Shit, yeah.
So yeah, I'm doing that, and it actually made me realize, like, things that I should be grateful for. Yeah. I probably sound like this, poor me, rah rah, but I've got this massive house and I've got this and I've got that. But they, like I said, they're just things.
Yeah.
But I've also should be grateful that I've got those things. Yes. I don't have any money, but I've got equity. There's people that don't even have equity. There's people that don't even own a house. I've volunteered in Africa. I've seen, like, so I shouldn't really be whinging about anything, to be honest.
Yeah, it's good that you're being grateful. Do you do that often?
I try to do it more and more. Candy Love got me to think about that today when I tried the Reiki.
Yeah.
And yeah, I definitely need to do it more. Yeah. Shout outs to Candy Love and the Reiki.
So, hold on. 1 to 10.
On the Reiki?
Yeah, can't say 7.
No, well, that's a lucky number.
I know. So
no, I'll give it a 10. I was in another whole world.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
Amazing. Cool.
I didn't even, it was, and I'm open-minded, but I'm still a dude.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, what's this going to do? But no, definitely, I can say that I was in the deepest wherever I was that I've ever been in.
Just zonked out.
Yeah, bro. But not like sleeping. It wasn't like a sleeping thing. I was in another, I was twitching, doing all this weird shit. Like, I was in another place. Yeah. It wasn't like, I sleep all the time. I get remedial massage every week and I sleep.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like that.
Okay.
I was like, I was in another zone.
That's awesome, man.
I felt very relaxed.
I'm glad you liked it because
I'm glad you recommended it to me.
Yeah, and if you haven't heard Candy's episode, she was episode number 1, I think. So go back and listen to that, and then she gives an explanation about what Reiki is. When I used it, she's probably the biggest help I've ever had for facing my fear of failure. Obviously, you have the same thing, so I'm not too sure if that's something you
She's a very positive person.
Yes, she is. She's amazing.
And she does some mad art.
Yes.
I saw her art in her house. Yeah, well, it looks pretty good. I said to her, like, is this yours? She was like, yep, doing an exhibition. I was like, damn.
Yeah. So, getting back on track.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kitty Love.
Yeah.
Shit, where were we? Oh, we're talking about the steps to getting closer to where you want to be.
Yeah.
Closer to being content.
So I'm getting rid of all my bad debt.
Yep.
What Barefoot would class as bad debt. Mm-hmm. House isn't bad debt because you make money on that. Yep. But car loan, credit cards, all that. And I should be grateful, really, because I've just about got rid of it already.
You were saying that you tie this house to that divorce with your partner.
Yeah.
That we haven't talked about. If anyone wants to talk about it, who's going through that situation, you can contact them later and they'll give you those details. Yeah,
I'll have a yarn, no dramas. We'll talk it up.
But you're saying you hate this house. Is selling this house on the cards to free up that money to help you travel?
Yeah, not anytime soon.
Not anytime soon.
I want to get into a position that when I do sell, because I'm a planner.
Yes.
Very much a planner. If I sell, I want enough money that my next house I don't have to have mortgage insurance.
Okay.
Because that sort of defeats the purpose. If I'm going to sell and then go get mortgage insurance again. So yeah, I think about all that shit, bro. Okay. So yeah, definitely downsizing on the cards.
Yep.
But I hope my roommates aren't listening to this shit. It's all right. You're good for another year. You're going to post this on Facebook too. Yeah, in a year or so, I'll definitely probably look at it. But in saying that, things change. I could find the love of my life.
Yes.
And we could afford this house. Man, and the dream could be alive. But at the moment, I'm just smashing it as much as I can. Awesome. Like, honestly, fingers crossed I do. I don't want to sell this house. This was my dream home.
It's amazing.
So, fingers crossed I do find the one. But if I don't, I'm going to downsize and go to Japan.
Okay. So, having had that dream, not quite living up to it.
Yeah.
With the divorce and obviously having this house alone and watching your friends have kids.
Yeah.
Has your dream life, the idea of your dream life changed at all?
Nah.
No, it hasn't? So
I'm still hanging on, bro. I'm still hanging on. Yeah, I'm a sucker, but not necessarily my own children. I'm very open to stepping up to the plate, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
My old man did it for me.
Yeah, of course.
Let's be honest, I'm 36 years old. Most chicks at my age probably do have a little kid by their side.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But that doesn't freak me out. I love kids, so it's all good. I got my goddaughter. I go down there every month. I'm good with kids, so I'm not scared of a woman that's got a kid.
So we've gone over the recovery, using the psychologist, and now Reiki, which is probably going to become something that you use on and off.
Yeah.
Gone through those depressed days and you feel like you haven't met expectations, your own expectations.
Yeah.
And still having that goal, that American dream.
Yeah.
We're going to go through the quality of life now.
Yeah.
What would you say your quality of life is like now?
I'll be honest. I shouldn't complain.
You shouldn't.
I've got a good job that pays good money. Okay. I work less than half the year if you include my holidays.
Yeah.
I have a big, beautiful house, even though I hate it. but these are the things, you know. I really shouldn't complain. I should be grateful.
You hate it now because of being here alone and what it's been.
Well, and the financial stress it causes me. That's why I hate it. But if it didn't do that, I would love it. Yeah. No doubt about it. I'll be honest. I should be grateful I've got a roof over my head and that I have food. Yes. It does really come down to that. It's that simple. Like,
it's just the mindset.
Yeah, it's just a mindset, and I think we as humans become more and more accustomed to the toys and we'll forget about the simple things. It's all about bigger this, bigger that. Get the right filter so we look perfect on Instagram, when reality is you probably didn't look that perfect that day, but we'll make the world you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
You just want to impress people until you realise that no matter how much you get, people aren't going to stay impressed. You're just going to have to keep upgrading.
They're just things. I'd be quite happy in a little 2x1 and just go to the beach and just, which country am I going to next? Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I guess when I thought I was going to be having a family and stuff, I've seen a few countries, I've done a few, but like everyone, you want to do more, but you think, right, I'm about to have kids, going to have to can that until they're old enough, and then we'll go to Disneyland and shit. Yeah. But yeah, it's just all changed now, bro. So I just got to, day by day, that's pretty much what I do, day by day. Exercise. I have bad back pain, so I can't do CrossFit and shit anymore, but I've started swimming laps at the pool. Cracked a K the other day.
Nice.
But it's good. Yeah. Obviously, you don't have to do laps. Do whatever you want to do, but I've got a body of a 90-year-old, so I've got to swim with the oldies now. Oh, what's that word? Endorphins? Yeah. Get your endorphins going.
So you're doing the swimming and Pilates?
Yeah, I do Pilates every morning. Yeah. Reformer classes only on my R&R. Mm-hmm. And then I'll go straight from there to the pool and swim. I usually only get 500 metres out after Pilates because my arms are no gassed. So Pilates isn't easy. Don't let anyone tell you it's easy. It's not. That shit's hard, especially if you're a dude.
So how do you feel those two exercises help you?
Mentally, heaps. Yeah, just sort of get my day going, really, because if I didn't, there's been times I'll just stay in bed till 9, 10 o'clock. Then I wake up with a sore back. Oh, okay. Because I've got nothing to do. Yeah. I'm on a week off. I've got no missus. I've got no kids. As you can see, the house is spotless. Don't have to clean. Everything's done. But I've got no money, so I can't go do nothing. Do you know what I mean? So it gives me a bit of routine. I get up 5:30, go to Pilates, go straight from there, come back here, have my breakfast, and you feel good about the day, you know. But I've done all these things and I have my breakfast and it's only 9 o'clock.
You've been super productive, so you just get spurred on.
I'm like, it's only 9 o'clock. I've already done Pilates, I'm swimming and had my breakfast. Right, what are we doing today?
So we're going to jump into what you've removed from your life to make it better. Mm-hmm. What would that be?
Negative people.
Negative people?
Yeah, definitely.
Good.
In the last couple of years, I've done a lot of Facebook calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, people that you'd never hang out with anyways. Yeah. They're just always a troll is the word, I guess. Okay, yeah. You know, they're always there to look for a fight or try to argue and all that sort of shit. I'll be honest, I used to love it when I was younger. Yeah. I was a fiend. I was a weapon with a keyboard. But it's just wasted time, man. Yeah. My group of friends isn't massive, but like I said, we've all been mates for 15, 20 years. Yeah. But it's not, for me, it's not about quantity, but more about quality these days. So you've got a small little tribe, and tribes all have little babies now. But they're cute little babies.
Yeah, the tribe's getting bigger.
Yeah, the tribe's getting bigger, that's right. But one day maybe I'll get one.
So you've removed negative people.
Yeah, negative people.
And would you say that's made a big impact?
Oh, massive difference. Yeah, massive. Like, even it goes back to my mother. Even though I still wonder, like, oh, was it a bad move or whatever? But it definitely is.
It just takes that unnecessary stress out of you.
Stress, yeah. Life's too short. Yeah. It really is that simple. Stuff is just stuff, and life is too short. So don't buy heaps of stuff and live your life.
Damn.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's taken me a long time to realise that. But yeah.
Well, you have, so that's the most important part.
Yeah, I'm going to Japan, man.
Japan, #Japan.
Yeah, #Japan. Gyoza.
So you've taken out the negative people. What have you added to your life?
Obviously exercise. I've always sort of exercised, but with my back and my neck, I've had disc replaced in my neck and all that. That's another whole story. But I've had to rethink how I train, because for a little bit there I stopped exercising because I was like, oh, it hurts my back, I can't exercise. But then I quickly got depressed. Okay. Like you quickly notice when you exercise every day and stop, you quickly notice when you're not, when those endorphins aren't there.
100%. I went through the same thing. Depression, because of not being at the gym anymore.
Yep, definitely. Like those endorphins, even if you can't do what you used to do, find something else. Like I was CrossFit, fittest I've ever been, lifting weights, all that sort of stuff, and now I'm Pilates and pool man. Yeah. And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's like it's letting go of the ego and actually getting into it.
Yeah, I'm Pilates pool and podcast man. If you had asked me 5 years ago, bro. Oh, no way.
So remove negative people, added exercise with Pilates and swimming.
Yeah.
What do you love most about your life right now? You can think of something.
Oh, I'm very grateful. I'm still very grateful for the position I'm in.
Yeah.
Like I know there's things that need to change, but I'm still living pretty comfortably.
Yeah. Mentally,
maybe not, but I still do things to change that. You know, everyone has good and bad days, but I'm very comfortable. I'm very grateful for the opportunities I've had. Yeah. I'm very grateful for the countries that I have been able to go to. Like I get shitty that I haven't travelled in a couple of years because of all of this, but then I look back and go, man, I've done all of East Africa, been to Italy, been to Greece, been to Thailand, whatever. Like, so I'm very grateful. Some people never even get to leave their town.
Yeah, well, you've done more than my parents. Who are, 60 odds.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm definitely grateful for the experiences that I've had.
Yeah.
And as sour as even my marriage went, like we still had good times. There's still good things to remember about that, I guess. I'm grateful for my friends, my tribe is what I call them.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for them, because they're my family, I've got no family here, so when all the shit hit the fan, a couple of times the shit's hit the fan with me, to be honest. They'll drop at a hat and come around here, or say, come round to my house, stay the night, you know? Yeah. And they've got kids, so yeah, very grateful for them.
Yeah, it's massive for someone who gets to come and stay.
Yeah.
Support a friend. Yeah,
definitely. Like, but on the same token, they know I'm there for them any time. That's why we're the tribe. But my friends got me through the divorce and then the other breakup that I had when my neck operation didn't work. My old man loved him a bit. He offered to come over, but I didn't want to be that burden. Do you know what I mean? So definitely friends, food, house over my head.
Yeah.
I love food. Check out my Instagram. Shambags1.
Shambags1.
True story.
So you're super grateful, and that's amazing to see.
Yeah, definitely. My friends more than anything.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like I said, this is just stuff.
Yeah, of course.
But my friends, they've done a lot for me. Yeah.
So having come through everything you've been through, having grown up with a mum, cuts herself and takes drugs, to her getting with younger guys and having to...
And used to beat the shit out of me. I forgot that bit. But yeah, I know. But honestly, we could be here all day, bro. Yeah. It's just... And to me,
I think we'll have to do another episode at some point.
Yeah, okay.
Having come through it all that stuff with your mum when you were younger and having to live with her, and finally getting to live with your dad, and then getting into work and having this injury that set you back.
Yeah.
Going from that injury, coming back after your PTSD and the depression, and going through your divorce and then losing.
There's a big list, eh?
Yeah, yes, there is. Losing a partner. You've been through a lot more than most people ever will.
Yeah.
Having gone through all that, how do you see yourself helping people that have been in those similar situations?
I'm all ears. I'm here to help and give advice. anyone who's on your page, man, if they want to have a yarn, hit me up. I'll have a yarn, no dramas. I think that's what that page is all about, to be honest. I think it's a great idea that you've started. I think you deserve a round of applause.
Oh, thanks.
So, how do I see myself helping people? Oh, well, just giving advice, listening. Listening's a big thing. Sometimes people, they say they're there, but they don't really listen. Yeah. And then when they do, they think you're whinging. Okay. Do you know what I mean? So, actually just listening to people and
I think
letting
it's
them
a
vent.
bit different when people haven't experienced what you're going through. Like if someone says they're there for you when you're going through something hard, like a divorce,
yeah,
or not being able to work because you're injured, if they haven't been through it themselves, then it's probably hard for them to give you that level of empathy that someone like you would.
Yeah.
Being through everything you've gone through. So
yeah,
I guess what the Open Up does and what people like you do by offering an ear or a shoulder, it allows people to share their story without feeling like they're a burden.
Yeah, that's right. I definitely have had that feeling before where I haven't wanted to be a burden. Even with my friends, they're amazing and I love them to bits, but there's been times where I'm like, oh, I'm not going around there again. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because you feel like a burden. And that's what is good about this. You can go on here, or a psychiatrist or a counsellor. You can just go there. Sometimes it's easier to talk to them than your friends. And I know my friends learn I love you all to bits. My friends that are listening, you know this. But yeah, sometimes it is easier just to talk to a stranger.
Okay, awesome. So, with that, I guess we'll wrap it up there. But before we do, I just want to acknowledge you because obviously I had no idea that any of this was going to happen until you posted on the Open Up group.
Yeah.
On the closed Facebook page. Obviously it's private, so it's only people who are going through similar shit that see this. But when you posted, that was completely out of the blue for me. Like obviously I've seen you as just this
dude,
ultimate rugby league fan, boys boy. Always having banter.
I'm very much a girly boy. I'm a Pisces. I'm a sook.
This was totally out of left field for me. So I just want to acknowledge you for first opening up on the page.
Yeah.
And then while I was texting you to ask you to do a podcast, you offered to do it. So just the fact that you're opening up and sharing this with an audience on iTunes or Android.
Yeah.
You never know how many people could be listening, and with everything that you've been through, you can definitely help at least one person out there. So I really want to acknowledge you for
on the same token, but you need to be acknowledged because you're the one that created the page.
Oh, thanks, man.
Do you know what I mean? Like, no, serious. Like, because I wouldn't have written on there.
Yeah. If
the page wasn't there, so still same amount of acknowledgement for you, bro.
Thank you, my man. I think we'll wrap it up there.
Sweet ass. Sure.
Thank you all for listening to this episode of the Open Up podcast, the show where real people share real stories. Today we had Shannon Stewart. He's definitely been through a lot, and if you did listen through the whole episode, he does offer an ear or a shoulder for you to speak to or cry on. If you do want to reach out to him, the links to his Facebook will be in the show notes below. Of course, he talks about the Open Up group that he did post on, the one that we've made for people to share their stories in a private and safe place. For that, we'll link that up in the show notes below, or you can search Open Up group on Facebook. It is closed, it is private, so you don't have to worry about anyone else on Facebook seeing your story. If you're not comfortable sharing your story yet, just go on, add yourself as a member. We'll approve it, of course. All you do from there is read through the stories. Just read through, resonate with some of the stories, find something similar to what you're experiencing, and just comment. When you comment, you spur other people to comment, and then from there we can start helping each other get through our struggles. With that, all I want to say is thank you so very much for listening, and I hope we've encouraged you or someone you know to open up. Ciao.